Hi, it's Linda Schiller-Hanna again. I'm coming to you today with a vulnerability story. One of the reasons I have the painting in the background that I painted is because it's like a little naked girl, very vulnerable. There are little pink dots on it, signs of abuse. Many of you that are watching tonight can relate to the image of a vulnerable child. Today I'm going to talk about a vulnerable whale. That's why we have this whale tail here. This is a true story, happened to me back in 1996. Since my late 20s, I have been a professional clairvoyant, intuitive reader, telepath, have done some animal communication. And in 96, I was living in the Cleveland area, and there was a SeaWorld at that time. And my husband and I went up there, and we got to see the whale show. And it stars Shamu. Apparently, all the whales were named Shamu. And I was watching this black and white orca, which comes from, I think, originally Iceland, but they also have them up by Alaska too, I believe. It's a black and white whale. And I was horrified to see this magnificent creature in this very, very small tank doing these amazing tricks with the little trainers. They'd splash the audience, they would stand up on tail and move across the pond, across the pool. Lots of different tricks that they did. People would ride it. And I tuned in on the whale. And I asked, what's this like for you? And I had a telepathic message. And Shamu said to me, I see myself as like Jesus, like the sacrificial whale, that if people will grow to love me, maybe it'll save all my brothers and sisters in the wild. That I'm willing to be this sacrificial whale. And I felt very sad about that, but it felt really very true. When the program was over, they have the whale go down out through a chute and into a wading pond, basically just a big round swimming pool. It was about 3 feet deep and probably 80 yards across. I don't know, it wasn't very big, especially if you're a whale used to an ocean. And it certainly wasn't very deep. And so we were able to go out and stand by that big tank and observe the whale. And it was circling and circling and circling counterclockwise around this pond, around this pool. And I'm also a Reiki master. And I thought, since that whale is suffering and doing this hard job for America, for the world, to save all the other whales, I'm going to give it some Reiki. And so it was on the far side of the pool. I put my hands up to give it Reiki. And when it got right in front of me, it stopped. And it let me give the Reiki. It just stayed right there as I sent the loving, healing energy to the whale. I was astonished, but also deeply impressed by its sensitivity. Shamu knew something was happening and could feel it. I was so moved by this experience that a few days later I wrote SeaWorld and said, I'm a Reiki master, and your whale seemed to really appreciate the Reiki, and I would be willing to come back many times to give it more for all the stress it's undergoing. And I got no response. Today, in preparation for doing this talk with you today, I thought I would look up more information about Shamu on Google. And I was horrified to see the PETA report. PETA is the group that tries to protect animals. I invite you to look up Shamu and PETA. It's on the Encyclopedia Britannica. You can just Google it. And some of the things made Hitler's death camps come to mind. It was that horrifying. I was visibly shaken and upset by what I read, and so glad to know that these companies are out of business and that there are no more Shamus out there right now undergoing what this poor creature did. Over the years, I have worked with animals, doing Reiki, tuning in on horses, racehorses that said they wanted the radio on, or that they wanted more oats or whatever, different ways. I've also worked finding missing animals, cats and dogs in particular. But I also have one of my students who's written a book called Animal Communication. And it's for sale for less than $10. And she's done a really good job on this booklet. So I will put the link to her Animal Connection book if you'd like to order it. And you too can start developing your own intuition and tuning in with animals with more confidence. I thank Shamu and all the whales, all the sentient beings, for their beauty, for their messages, for their courage in coming into human territory, as vulnerable as that little girl up there. And that's all I want to say for today. Thanks for tuning in, and God bless you.